My friend, how are you doing?
Welcome.
I feel so welcome right now. It was a fantastic show, and I thank you for putting that on for us.
No, thank you. Thank you for commentating.
Oh, I had an absolute blast, and a bit biased here, but of course, coming from Ohio myself, anybody in the chat from Ohio, I'm sure everybody is going nuts, and we're all happy for you. You've been on a bit of a meteoric rise over the past year. I know that, again, like about a month and a half, 2-ish months ago, you took a tournament that had a pretty big pot bonus. You took that over Rick. Talk a little bit about just the past year for you and some of your major accomplishments that brought you to today.
Well, shucks. That's a lot.
You're the man of the hour. The people want to know.
Just a consistent grind offline, tech chasing, wobble setups. Wobble setup is the end game, always.
Of course, yeah.
Always.
You got to find a way to get that. Do you do a lot of net play?
I've tried to distance myself from net play because it angers me.
Does it really?
It does.
How so?
It does. It tilts me. I have a bad mentality on net play.
That's funny because I've always thought of you as having such a solid, very stoic mentality in person. You always seem very cool, calm, and collected, and that surely, like, you showcase that in your run today.
Well, behind the screen, it's much easier to destroy controllers and get upset on net play.
What's the difference?
Peach down smash, you can't wave dash out of shield and punish that reliably.
What's the difference, in your opinion? Like, why is it that net play irks you, whereas playing in person doesn't?
You know, probably just because we're left with our bare elements when we're playing net play. Just ourselves in our room. Maybe we have a can of soda or water if we're being a little healthy.
Okay, sure.
I'm drinking water. Always drinking water.
You gotta stay hydrated.
You know, something that I've been doing, I've been going into the sauna. I've been going into the sauna and meditating.
So any of you guys in the chat trying to figure, how can I win House of Pain 20? This is where you gotta start. Stay hydrated. Like, check out your local sauna. Let's talk a little bit about your run, because you won. You haven't lost a single set today. You started off by 2-0ing Larfin. I saw that he's another great commentator. We had him on the stream earlier. He tweeted saying something like, super not looking forward to playing against Boyd. So he knew going in, how good of a player you are. We then saw you 3-1-ing Kells. I was talking to Parzival in the stands watching you guys play on the side stream. And I told him, I think Boyd's going to win this. He was shocked. But I knew you could win this. Was that the first time you beat Kells?
The first time I had played Kells was about a month ago at Big House, the first round after we got into the pro bracket, and he destroyed me, 0-3. Yeah, so it feels pretty good to go from 0-3 to 3-1.
So why did this go differently? How did this go in your favor?
Well, shucks. I don't mean to be a Johnner, but Big House round 1 was at 10 a.m., and it was freezing rain that morning. And I went
so interesting. I know
I was
people,
not digging that.
I'll tell you what. I'm making a hard read. People in the chat right now are saying, "Oh, the person wobbling is johnning about 10 a.m."
And the person that plays Ice Climber, not used to the icy rain.
Sure. Well, I think generally people are upset about playing against Ice Climbers early in the morning because that's when they're going to be making a lot of tech flips.
Right.
But nonetheless, again, great job 3-1-ing Kells in. That was before quarters actually. So then you 3-0'd O'Reilly. Had you ever played him before?
Only in a money match a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a silly bracket. That was the Pichu seed, right?
I think so, yeah. So O'Reilly
silly
beat
business.
Slop. Slop is a pretty good Champagne Fox, and Slop was able to beat Mew2King's Pichu in winners round 1. So
that's some silly business.
Yeah, so O'Reilly stole the first seed from Slop, who stole it from Mew2King.
And then he had a very close set with Rishi.
Oh, really? Yeah, he nearly beat Rishi in losers and stopped his losers run. That was another huge interesting aspect of the tournament. I think you, of course, winning is the highlight, but Rishi losing in winners round 1, that was
the fans
obviously
may
not
disagree.
Well, anybody from Ohio, I think, would disagree with those that are disagreeing. But wobbling is here for the time being. It's here to stay. So that's just the case. That's what's going on. So you 3-0'd Rick. To my knowledge, that's what, the third set in a row now that you've taken over him.
Yes, it is.
Historically, how have those sets gone?
Historically, he's beaten me. He beat me the first 2 times I ever played him, and now I'm up 3-0. So I'm up 3-2 now.
Yeah, in total. Okay.
Yep.
And your win over KJH. So walk me through. Can you walk us through winners finals? Had you ever played KJH before?
Just on net play and some friendlies.
Mm-hmm. And
that was about it. Stuck with my regular strategy of kind of holding center stage and doing a lot of preemptive hitboxes and trying to pick my spots when I need to overextend and do some empty movements forward to maybe get a better opening. But I stuck to that game plan for pretty much all the Foxes today.
Right, and I mean, of course, it obviously ended up working for you.
Right.
it just seemed like he was very uncomfortable. You know, he seemed like he always wanted to be along the edges of the stage. He didn't want to interact. He was only willing to interact on his own terms, and you got the better of him in 2 sets. So impressive.
Thank you.
I mean, I think it wouldn't be an overstatement to say that this is the best performance of your career. And it's funny because we were playing some friendlies earlier, and I was asking you how the tournament was going, and you're like, "Oh, dude, there's so much pressure now."
Yes.
And I'm like, "Well, you're getting better and
more
better
now.
Well, of course, there's going to be even more pressure.
You know, maybe wobbling will be banned, and my hand will be forced, and I can take an exit.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe you can kind of like
that's my
leave on a
escape
good
out
note.
of this game.
Sure.
Well, my way out.
Either way, no matter what happens, of everybody that you played, would you say that your sets with KJH, like, did he take you the closest, or was anybody else like?
Actually, the first set that I played in pools, I was taken to game 3 last hit, last stock by a Falco.
No way.
Yes.
What was their tag?
Please don't ask me that. I don't know.
Oh.
It's disrespectful that I don't know.
Oh, I understand. We've all been there. You know, if you're a higher seed of a tournament, like sometimes like you play somebody in pools, it's like, hey man, how's it going? What's your name? And you kind of forget about it because there's a lot of people that you play at these tournaments. So for a second though, I thought you said his tag was please don't ask me that.
No,
that's pretty meta.
That is a meta tag.
Okay. Do you have any last minute thoughts, things that you want to share with the viewers here about your performance? Where can we follow you? You got your Twitter here at Boyd.
I'm not really on Twitter. I kind of just tweet the tournaments that I register for.
That's right.
I
think that there's kind of like I don't know if it's a Boyd's ego, but there's like some sort of like Boyd meme Twitter account that gets a bit more traction.
There's one that is it's like stuff that Boyd says.
That's right.
There's quotes. I don't know who exactly runs that.
You haven't yet figured out who runs that? That's fun. It's almost like you have
I know
like an
who
admirer.
Started it, but I think the keys were handed down to a couple people.
Interesting.
But just honey charmed to be here.
Cool. Awesome. Any last minute thoughts?
No.
Mew2King, would you also like to say a few words to the fans? Thanks again, Boyd, so much.
Thank you.
And congratulations. Mew2King, how are you?
Fine.
Awesome. So the question I have to ask to start, of course, you went more try-hard in doubles. You played all P2 in singles. At this point, we all know this, but can you talk a bit about why you made that decision?
It was a sub-goal.
Sub-goal. Okay, I actually had no idea. Very cool.
Yep.
Did you have like a certain like goal? Like, okay, I want to get like X placing with only P2, or mostly just having some fun?
Just play.
Gotcha. Yeah, very cool. What did you think of the tournament? Like, were you most impressed by Boyd? Were you most impressed that Rishi got upset? What were your thoughts about generally how things played out?
I didn't even know that. I was just playing friendlies all day.
So you don't know anything
about? No, I was just playing friendly. I know Boyd won. I was just playing friendlies.
Have you ever met Boyd before? Had you played him in the past?
Yeah, I played him at SmashCon this year.
Oh yeah, you guys have played in doubles a number of times. I'm sure.
No, we did. I played in singles bracket SmashCon like 2 months ago.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. He's so impressive at this point, man. Like even like 2 years ago, nobody really knew who he was, but his rise has been very impressive. So how did you enjoy your event?
Every turn is the same, but I like the free food.
Yeah, that's the one cool thing about this is there's so many free snacks. I mean, I think there's still some left over, honestly. So that's pretty cool. So Summit is next weekend, right?
It's in a few days.
Yeah, so you guys will all be getting there, like for everything. Do you have anything that you want to share with the stream, anything like that?
I've been writing my book for many months now, so it'll be out in 2019 probably. I'm trying to be done before. I'm trying to be done my part before Ultimate comes out, so I'm giving myself like November and that's it.
Oh wow!
So
we could expect like the first or maybe second.
I don't know
quarter.
if it's probably released next year.
Right.
I've been working on it so much, so because I figure like, why not?
Can you talk a bit about like, obviously it's about your life, but is it about a certain part of your life?
Not all of it.
All of it.
Story of my life.
That's awesome. Man.
Basically.
That's really cool. I mean, I still remember watching the documentary and just being fascinated about some of the information. Like, obviously we didn't have a lot of technology back then. Finding out all this frame data by like testing, like frame by frame, and obviously everybody has their own style for how they get better at the game. So
that was I just posted that on the internet because I wanted to be famous.
Really?
And I was also curious on everything. And I had like OCD. At first it was like I was curious. And then it was like, oh, I already have this. Let's do more. And then It's just like, wait, how far can I go?
That's so interesting.
I was like 13 for figuring out all the invincibility for like spot dodges and rolls and stuff.
Yeah.
Using like Fox's lasers and 3 controllers at the same time and all this crazy stuff when I was like 13.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's awesome that we don't
smart.
have to do that anymore, nowadays.
Yeah, dude, that's probably spent like 2,000 hours doing that.
I love that you're comfortable saying like, yeah, part of the reason I did all that is because I wanted to be famous.
I just want to be famous.
So now that you are famous, is it everything that you thought it was going to be?
It's kind of I'm like used to it now.
Yeah.
No, like I prefer it because it's like it's less boring than if I wasn't.
Yeah.
Although although some people use like bad logic, they like treat me better as a human ever since like the Smash stock.
Yeah.
Before like
top
before it was
privilege.
before it was esports, it was like I wasn't treated like that, and the fact that that's the changing point is like that part's like dumb because I don't think I'm like better than other people in terms of like a person.
Yeah, being a person.
Or just anyone can just be really good at something. They try it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, again,
I think
your like kind of theme in the documentary was like anybody can get good at whatever they want, and you're a prime example of that.
Well, that was my logic.
Right.
I didn't even play people.
I'm sorry?
I mean, I played computers. I just figured it out with my brain.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's almost like you were like a proto, not
but I started like really low, and then I got like gradually like from like the first 2 years of Melee in every game.
Again, I'm from Columbus, so a lot of people around like Ohio, like we every now and then will reference like, yeah, like you remember the time that like Dreffen actually beat Mew2King when he was still on the come up. So of course you've come such a long way. So I'm trying to think if I have any other questions for you. What are you doing in the days leading up to Summit? What does that look like? Are you guys going to be like streaming mostly like at Mango's place, or what's the plan?
No, I'll be at GHQ tomorrow, and then I'm just chilling here because I don't want to be on a million flights.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't want to take a million flights.
Have you at all looked at the bracket for the Mango tomorrow? Do you have any like?
I'm not going to that. No, I don't care.
You don't care? You don't have any thoughts on like who you think is going to get that last spot?
I don't really care.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah, I like the laid back attitude. It's like, whatever. It doesn't really affect you too much. Cool.
It's like not worth worrying about.
So when Ultimate comes out, have you thought at all about like
so much?
Is it going to be like for a while the focal point?
Yeah. Oh yes. I mean, dude, the new Smash game only comes out like every 4 to 6 years.
Right.
So like, of course you have to take advantage of when it comes out. Not first off, that's smart.
Yeah,
and
of course.
For like being good early, and then Twitch and YouTube, and second off, I'm genuinely interested.
Right.
There's like so many characters I want to play or try and just have fun with. Like,
how can you not be interested? Right.
Yeah. How can you not be interested?
Yeah. I'm hoping that it does well. I mean, I'm sure it will. There's practically no way that it's not going to go incredibly well.
Yeah.
But you still see yourself, still being a part of the Melee community, still attending events like once it comes out, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's gonna be like a case-by-case basis.
Right.
Like, I haven't even worried about that. Like, people ask me that all the time. I'm not even thinking about that right now. Like, dude, I don't see Melee dying. What's the rush? Actually, what's the rush? Like, a lot of people think it's like, oh, you're gonna do this immediately after Ultimate. Who cares? This game's obviously going nowhere anytime soon.
I don't mean to like make a huge digression about Melee dying.
Like Smash 4 is gonna die. Melee's not gonna die.
I
really
hope
be around forever.
Die, how many times?
Maybe be slightly small, whatever.
In all the cases where a community ends up kind of fizzling out, do you think that before the decline occurs, everyone's like, oh yeah, we're actually so definitely about to die, Or is it the case that it happens because people are overconfident? Of course.
I haven't thought about that. I don't know.
Yeah, so.
I was talking about like, the game always stands the test of time because it's a good game.
Yeah, it's an incredible game. That's why we're all here.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, from my perspective, like on the local level, I think it's more important now than ever to continue supporting local events. For instance, like in Athens, in OU, it's a place in Ohio, and they used to have like this one series, and it was really, really popular and really successful. I went recently, they had like 30 entrants, and before they would have over 100. So, like, there are small parts of the community that are already kind of hurting. So when Armada is retiring and when Ultimate comes out, I think it's valid that people are kind of worried about this. And I'm happy to hear that you're still planning on being a member of the Melee community. Like, nobody doubts that.
Yeah. Like, deterrence I do or don't do is probably a case-by-case basis because that's not like my priority at the moment.
It sounds almost like
at any moment that it makes sense, I can just do it. Like, I'm still gonna go to summits, for example. Like,
of course,
I like summits. I'm always going to go to summits every 5-6 months.
Yeah, of course. And it sounds almost like you're going to be treating whether you go for Melee or Ultimate almost in the same way that Leffen decides, okay, am I going to be focusing on Dragon Ball Z or am I going to be focusing on Melee?
Yeah, I've just been doing that forever. I mean, I just do whatever makes sense.
Sure.
I'll just adapt. I don't know.
So
how much Smash.
How much have you had an opportunity to play Ultimate thus far?
Not long, and it was just with a crappy Pro controller. GameCube controller is so much better.
Oh yeah. I mean, you don't have to tell me that. So you haven't played a lot. I'm sure you've seen a lot. Everybody's doing a lot of speculation.
Yeah, I made some videos.
Right.
For on my YouTube. MVD League and the real Mew2King.
Yeah, check them out, guys. Mew2King, of course, putting out some of the best content in the Smash community.
Yeah, I've got way more to come.
Yeah. I can only imagine how hard you guys are going to be working once that game comes out.
Yeah. Because if you call it work, it's fun.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal.
That's the trick to life. You just find what's fun, and then, is it really work?
It's not.
Or is it what you wanted to do anyway?
Exactly, and
or like maybe not always, but like it's not as work-ish feeling as if it's like something you didn't care about.
Absolutely, and I'm sure you get this a lot, but like seeing people like you make a living off of what they love to do, it's inspiring.
Yeah, that's
one
of the reasons for my book. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
everyone told me, oh yeah, I have an interesting story. So I was like, okay. And then I wrote it, and then I realized, wait, I actually do have an interesting story.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite unique.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much for attending this event. Even though you went Pichu, I think some people would have liked it.
I actually think if I could have done more if I didn't fight two good foxes. That would just camp me out. Because here's how it works. Like Pikachu, you could just like down smash at any moment to like knock them over, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then you also have the up air which knocks over and leads to big combos. But then even if you get a back throw, you can actually like do all these gimps of like forward tilt, up airs and stuff, and all those things I named, Pichu doesn't have. So if you literally just hold down the control stick, like up tilt, and just keep doing retreating arrows and stuff, it's like, oh my god, it's actually like obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pichu's also not as good as I originally thought. I don't think he's bottom tier though. But
who's the worst character in the game?
It's either Bowser or Kirby, and then like right after that's like Zelda.
Really? So you think Roy's better than all three?
I think Roy and Ness are like 4 or 5 somewhere.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's funny. Some people were saying like, how
I can beat Wizzy of Roy sometimes, but then like the very next friendly he'll like beat my Marth. Like I'll 2-stock my Roy, and then he'll like 2-stock my Marth.
You can
like,
2-stock
No, it's just because he doesn't know the matchups.
Yeah.
It's just a gimmick,
what do you
honestly.
What do you even do in that matchup? Like you just
throw
him off
down
stage
throw,
and down tilt, right?
Guess which way they're attacking, down tilt, and then do a combo like forward smash or something. And some people don't know about counter, so like you just counter, and then they just like they're just playing like what would make sense normally, but then they don't factor in, I could just die at 50 from this counter. Yeah, it's just a bunch of gimmicks.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually mean anything.
Of course it is. I mean, any character around that level is just a giant gimmick. Yeah. Like, you're just hoping that they don't know what you can do. So.
Yeah, kind of. Because once you get, like, figured out, you don't have, like, many more viable mix-ups. Yeah. And that's, like, the thing of low tiers is, like, they're really good at, like, first because you don't know, like, what they're doing. But if you actually know what they're doing and, like, okay, I actually fully understand this matchup, then it becomes really bad because it's like, I'm actually super limited in what I can actually do.
Yeah.
And then they do X play style, which like bodies your character like with a flowchart. Right. And it's like, oh god, this is horrible.
The extent to which
you
have to
outplay it's like a super uphill battle. It's almost sometimes it feels like their game to lose.
Yeah. Like the ball is in their court. You're not really in a position to make any plays.
Like it's in both our courts, but sometimes it kind of feels that way too.
Got it.
Depending on like the extreme, a lot of factors. But yeah.
Cool. Well, okay, so you just finished the sub goal. How many subs you got?
It's only for like 500. Honestly, I probably would have, if I got like first or second to turn, I would have made more than the sub goal was. So.
Yeah, but
whoops.
Whoops.
Whoops. I kind of wanted to try it anyway, but.
Yeah, it's cool that you're
for fun. I mean, I was just playing like my serious character. I was just playing like Marth all day in friendlies.
Yeah, of course. But it's cool that you're giving something back to the people that subscribe to you, and they clearly wanted you to do
I don't want to be a liar, like.
Right. Like, okay, maybe
I don't want
to
be that guy that said, like I kind of changed my mind. I didn't want to do it, but then I was like, well, I can't change my mind because then I'm a liar.
And then, like, when you have the next sub goal, then people are like, well, why even help him reach it if he's not going to carry it out?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you thought about?
I don't want to be that guy. That's
what's the next sub goal for Mew2King?
I didn't think that. I honestly didn't think that far into it.
Got it.
I don't want to just make some up right now.
So
I still have to read watch the Smash doc for the first time. I reached that one.
Wait. What?
Yeah.
You haven't watched the Smash doc?
Oh, it's my episode.
You've only watched your own episode? That's it?
Oh, it's an
No way.
Isaiah's episode.
Dude, Mew2King.
Yeah, but I was there in that time period. I know Chillin' Dude and Ken and all these people.
Well,
That's
yeah,
Korean DJ.
obviously.
Yes, I
You were
saw
there
them
for
all
Evo
the time.
20.
Yeah, it's probably not new to me. So I just watched my episode and Isaiah's.
But okay, so when you did watch your episode in Isaiah's, was there not any small thing that you were like, oh, I didn't know that? Like, did you learn anything? Or was there anything kind of new or interesting to you?
It's too long ago.
I mean,
my own episode, obviously, like, I said this stuff.
Dude, Mew2King, you benefited from the documentary,
Like
directly and indirectly so much. I think it'd be sick to, have a sub goal and then just watch the whole documentary.
No, I did reach that.
Oh, you already reached that as well?
Like 600, but yeah.
So you're just like making these sub goals and reaching them like all at once.
Well, yeah. I wasn't going to tournaments recently because, as I said, my book.
Right.
And then like, there's also Ultimate and Melee just wasn't like on my mind at the moment. But like, that's the thing. Like, if it wasn't for my book, I probably would have been fine doing it.
Right.
But with a new game coming out, I feel like I have a deadline for the other thing. So it kind of forces me to do both.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because it's like, oh, now I have this deadline. I'm gonna put all my time into that afterwards. What makes the most sense? Finishing it before, if you can do that.
I'm
so
sure.
That's why.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm sure you've answered this so many times. But what are the characters you're most interested in delving into? And
God, there's like
possibly
20 of them. Like any swordsman. People won't leave me alone if I don't at least try Mewtwo and Pichu.
Right, of course.
Like pretty much all the newcomers except Ken, because I don't care about the Street Fighter characters. That's just off the top of my head. There's like so many more. Like Zelda, all the Zelda characters got like super buffed. Like there's actually so many, and that's like the general idea of like on the top of my head. But basically all the newcomers, sword characters, and that like 25% of the whole cast, I'm like actually interested in like trying.
Okay, I have a question.
I actually don't have it narrowed down very much. It's like, oh,
I mean, how could
you?
It's not even out. It's funny that people are already putting their mains in their Twitter bios. It's like, come on, like the game's not even out. The last question I can think of that I have for you, and this is the question I'm personally most interested in. I'm somebody, I really only play Melee. I'm a member of the Melee community.
Yeah.
I've played Smash 4 a couple times, and I think that there's a lot of the Melee community that is preemptively at this point they're not particularly interested in Ultimate because they think that it's kind of Smash 4 version 2.
I mean that makes
when
that
I
makes
watched
sense, but I think that's wrong.
Okay, well I just want to like add a little bit more, and then I'd love for you to tell me why I'm wrong here.
Okay.
Because when we watched the Invitational and we saw, I can't remember who it was, but some Smash 4 player like killed Plups Ridley off the top with Bayonetta, and it's like,
that
okay,
was Greens.
Okay, it was Greens,
still on?
but yeah, I think you might have gotten turned down a bit.
Did you turn my mic off? Okay. Okay,
we'll
wrap it up
we'll
in
wrap
like
this
60
up.
seconds. Okay, yeah, that was Greens. That doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
Obviously, the game's more like Smash 4, but it's a lot of melee aspects too. For example, landing lag is like basically you can just treat spacing moves on a shield the exact same as melee.
Okay.
And it's pretty much the same thing with like the increased shield stun, the 40% on average less landing lag. Like you could treat offense the same. They seem to increase air drift, like left and right. You don't move as fast as a Jigglypuff, for example, but you move like a lot faster than usual. And then like the running speed. Add that to the shield stun. I think the game's more and the 1.2 times damage multiplier. That I still think that 3-stock would be like the same speed as like 2-stock in Smash 4. And I think obviously the game's more like Smash 4, but it's still like 1/3 melee-ish with like a lot of the neutral stuff will be spacing moves the way melee players know like space forward. Well, at least from a Marth and Sheik perspective, it's like that makes sense, And then you do like a mix up from there, or like, oh, they always try to do this, like they always try to parry it, so just land and grab them or do a different timing. Like, it's a lot of stuff like that. So yeah, obviously the game's more like 4, but it's still a lot more. It's still more like melee than Smash 4 by quite a bit, and I feel like it's not. You shouldn't rule it out, but I understand that many people are just gonna do it anyway.
Understood. Well, yeah, you heard it here. Excuse me. If you're in the Melee community, give Ultimate a chance. Maybe you'll have.
I mean, if you don't like it, then whatever.
But
I mean,
at least give it a shot.
Give it a fair shot, I think. I mean, that's what I always do with Smash games, because you never know.
Absolutely. Well, I think that we have to cut the stream now. Thank you guys again so much for supporting the stream, for tuning into Melee every day. Mew2King, thank you for being here as well. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Nice to meet you. We played a long time ago in a doubles match at Fight Pit. You and Mango went Mario and
He was
and
trolling
Mewtwo. Yeah, remember we played on Termina Bay. It was a long time ago. But
I kind of remember something like that. That was like we were both surprised that Melee like got so big. I still remember like those turns, like the fight pit. We were at like 2 of them.
Yeah.
We were in the grand finals of like 2 of them.
Yeah, I remember it was Fight Pit 4 that this occurred, and that grand finals.
Yeah, there was like
blew my
2
mind
different fight pits where like one of them he won, one of them I won.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool.
Well, we're getting a bit carried away again.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. Tune into this guy's stream, sub to him, sub to Melee every day, and we'll see you at the next Midwest Regional. This has been Zetts signing off.